Well, would you look at what we have here? 2011 Ford Fusion Hybrid. And it's here because there's a problem with the ABS brake system. The customer had a routine brake pad replacement done, and apparently after that they have a Christmas tree of lights on and a hard brake pedal or a soft brake pedal. Brake pedal feels reasonably normal now. I had to boost it to start it, so the battery was dead. The 12-volt battery, that is. But we got tire pressure monitor lights on. That's probably TPMS sensors. StabiliTrak, traction control, ABS. And I've got my booster battery hooked up to it. So we're going to start with a network scan of all the controllers and see what kind of computers we can get into on this hybrid with the Snap-on scanner. So this is a new vehicle record. 2011 Ford Fusion Hybrid. Didn't check to see how many kilometers were on it, but maybe it'll pull it up. 205,000 kilometers. Let's do a code scan of all controllers. Pre-scan. Okay, I'm going to turn the key off. I got a battery on it hooked up. I see it's charging at 13.9, which is good. I wonder if this thing will automatically start, because I got the key in the run position. You would think it wouldn't with the hood open, but I had one of these Fusions before and it ran with the hood open. And we get to listen to my compressor cycle. Fuel level sensor A circuit pending. Lost communication with instrument panel. Not current. Remember, the battery was completely dead. System voltage low, theft detected, vehicle immobilized. Here we go, ABS. TCS control channel A, valve 2, internal electronic failure, not current. Control module, internal electronic failure, not current. Brake booster solenoid circuit, current, out of range, not current. Brake booster solenoid, internal electronic failure, not current. ABS pump motor control actuator stuck, not current. Battery voltage below threshold. Left rear wheel speed sensor, general electrical fault. Now that's a current fault code, so that wouldn't be cause for concern. Wonder if it's got a speed sensor reluctor like the GM's that falls off the wheel bearing. Lost communication with instrument panel, occupant classification, battery voltage, hybrid EV system voltage low, not current, not current, not current. Lots of codes, but most of them are not current. PATS target identifier, not current. Are we done scanning yet? Wow. Of course, you can't really go by many of these codes because the battery was compromised. I don't have a battery charger hooked up to it, but I see that it's sitting at 14 volts, so that's the inverter is charging the 12-volt battery just because the key is on from the high voltage battery. So let's go back up and see if we finished the network scan yet. I believe it has. I'm not even sure we're getting into all of the control modules available on this. The last time I worked on one of these, the Snap-on scan tool didn't get into some of the modules that existed. I had to use IDS. But regardless, let's see how many controllers. 18 controllers. So let's go back, switch the ignition off, continue, and clear all codes read by code scan. Engine not running. Some of those ABS pump motor codes can be caused by an erratic speed signal where this module has to overreact to ABS actuation. I'm concerned about the wheel speed sensor, to be totally honest with you. The 18 modules, codes cleared. I'm going to shut the key off. And turn the key back on. And we'll do a rescan and see what came back, if anything. Code scan. Post scan, key on, engine not running. It's nice that it charges the 12-volt battery from the high voltage battery pack. You can see down here the system voltage is sitting at 14 volts, so we know the inverter is working. I don't know what kind of reserve capacity is in the high voltage battery pack on these things. I don't think it's much, but I'm going to pick up when we get to the end. So that left rear speed sensor signal general failure is current C0037. We're going to focus our attention on that code because it has less rear wheel speed sensor circuit dropout. It could cause an unwarranted ABS actuation, unwarranted traction control actuation. But that's in the rear, and they didn't do rear brakes as far as I know. I think they just did front. Invalid data received from compass, invalid data received from compass, minor detail. So let's go into the ABS module and see if Snap-on has troubleshooter information for C0037-01. Switch ignition off. Troubleshooter, ABS, code tips, C was C00, there's no C0, C1, C2, U codes, so we'll have to look it up. So I'm on Identifix, ID'd the vehicle, 2011 Fusion Hybrid, keyword search for C0037, and there's no cases on it. But let's have a look at the DTC troubleshooting steps. We're going to lift it up shortly and have a visual inspection. Left rear wheel speed sensor, general electrical failure. Well, let's put it up in the air and do a visual of it before we get carried away. Well, it appears the rear brakes were done as well. Pads and rotors. And looking underneath here, I see the wheel speed sensor wire is physically broken up there. And it's been like that for some time because somebody tie wrapped it like this. Now all those codes for the ABS pump motor and stuff are all up in the air because of the battery system being weak or the battery voltage being weak. So it's had front rotors and pads done and rear rotors and pads done. The front ones were just done. You can see the pads are like brand new, but the back ones are dirty or dusty. So maybe they were done a few weeks prior or something, but recently, that's for sure. You can see the brake pad is not as clean. I'm going to see if we can do a temporary repair on this harness to get this speed sensor working again. Or look at what's involved in changing the speed sensor, because that looks like a molded harness. So I spliced the two wires with uninsulated butt splices and heat shrink, and then I put a piece of heat shrink over the entire harness. The harness is a little shorter than it used to be, but it shouldn't matter because the suspension is hanging now, so it's only going to go up from here. This is just a temporary repair anyways. Just want to make sure that there is nothing more seriously wrong with the ABS unit. Well, we're going to get rid of this code first of all. Let's see if this clears the code. So let's go into the codes menu now. Memory codes. Running. So it's gone to not current. So let's clear it. It's supposed to be key on, engine off, but I'm going to try to do it with it running. Code's cleared. Memory codes. No codes present. So the circuit is fine now. Let's do some data and have a look at the speed signals. Okay, left rear brake pressure. Right rear wheel speed signal is on the left side. Left rear wheel speed signal. So I'm going to spin the wheels. So I'm turning the left rear. I'm turning the right rear. So both sensors are working. I'm going to try a key on, engine off test. Key on, engine off self-test. Okay, we're going to shut it off and turn the key back to run. No warning lights on the dash. So I got the key in the run position. The high voltage battery inverter is running the charging system now. No codes present. So again, all of those codes related to the pump motor and solenoid, they're all up in the air because of low battery voltage. We're going to take this thing for a road test. I got to torque the wheel. So I noticed the tire pressure monitor light was on and the tires were low. This is what the readings were before I put air in them. 10 psi in the left front, 22 in the left rear, 22 in the right rear, 23. So I topped them up and I torqued the wheel. Take it for a road test now. So when I got in the vehicle, I noticed these interior lights were on. So that manually left on would run the 12-volt battery down, even though they probably shut off after 20 minutes, but that battery is probably weakened. The brakes feel normal. All speed sensor signals are working. No warning lights on. I'm going to take it for a ride down the highway and see how it performs. Well, I just came back from about a 15-kilometer road test, and the brakes seem to work just fine. Let's see if there's any codes in the computers. I'm going to save this recording for future reference. Codes menu, memory codes. Continue. No codes present. So what was all that hocus pocus with ABS pump motor? Again, unstable voltage could cause that. I'm going to probably recommend replacement of the 12-volt battery because, mind you, the interior lights were left on, so maybe that's why it's been run down. I reset the fuel economy, and the tree was growing over there in the right side, but I see it's losing some leaves now because I'm idling and the fuel economy is going down. TPMS light is still on. I'm going to have a look at the TPMS data, but that's it for now. Unless something changes, we're going to say this one's fixed. Thanks for watching.